One to the nation of Israel, well, to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. Firstly, I want to begin the introduction of this lesson by giving all praises, honor, and glory to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So I'm going to start off by saying, Kol halal yimla Yahweh ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai ba'Hashem, Racha Kodash. Yahweh is the true name of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Bahashem in Hebrew, translating to English, means in the name. Yahweh Shai means He deliverer. The Racha Kodash is the Holy Spirit. And I'm back out here again with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Hamashiach Wamlak Yahweh Shai. And today we're going to read about an article really to do with the MOTB, the Mark of the Beast, because we know that we're entering a time where the chip is going to be made mandatory, and we're commanded, according to the Most High, to speak into the ears of the 12 tribes of Israel the words of prophecy. So, 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse 1, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in your mouth, saith the Lord. So that's what we're doing. We're speaking to you, hopeful elect members, and the 12 tribes, what? The words of prophecy, which the Lord has put in our mouth. And what's one of the major prophecies in the Bible? The mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is definitely a major prophecy that needs to take place. Now, the mark of the beast is the RFID chip, but it hasn't been made mandatory yet. We're still in a day and age where the mark of the beast is something which is not mandatory. So there's going to be a time where it is going to be made mandatory. Revelation chapter 13, reading at verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. The image of the beast is the system, the infrastructure. That the image of the beast should both speak. Now, how does this system speak? It has to speak via its policies, via its rules and legislations. That's how this society speaks. That's how this society is able to control the people, via its laws, rules, and regulations. And cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So there's going to be a time where the system is going to cause those that don't comply, they're going to be killed. Now, what is going to take place that the system is going to request people to do, that if they don't comply, they're going to be killed? It's going to be the chip, the brain chip, and the hand chip. Verse 16, and like I said, verse 16 goes into the elites, the leaders of this society, this world, right? Because the Bible tells you in Job, the 9th chapter, the 30th verse, I believe, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Sorry, Job 9:24, not the 30th verse, Job 9:24. So, and he causeth all. So this is referring to the elites of this system. And he, referring to the elites of Esau, Edom, causeth all, both small and great. So whether your social status in the system is small, whether your social status is great, rich and poor. So those that have large amounts of equity and low amounts of equity, right? Those that don't even have equity at all. Free and bond. So those that are free in society and those which are in prison, in jail, right? To receive a mark The mark goes into the RFID chip, the brain chip, in their right hand. It can also be in the left hand as well, or in their foreheads. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell. So there's going to be a time that we're entering into where if one doesn't have this mark, this RFID chip, you're going to be denied access to buy and to sell. Save he that had the mark. Save he means unless he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And that goes into the number 666. Now, I have an article that comes out of Interesting Engineering. And, remember the angel Uriel through the Spirit was speaking to the prophet Esdras, and he told Esdras, said, measure the time diligently. And, in this 21st century that we're living in, that's what we're meant to do, measure the time diligently, being able to know exactly how biblical prophecies are matching the line to this present day, and warning the 12 tribes that we're soon getting closer and closer to the mark of the beast coming out. Because this is a very serious prophecy. In fact, this event that's going to take place is so serious that those that actually take this mark, the Most High Yahweh is not going to have mercy on anyone that takes the mark of the beast. It's like your connection with the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is ended, it's over once you've taken the mark. So this is the reason why we take this prophecy so seriously. So this is interesting engineering. This company has implanted microchips inside 150 employees' hands. The Swedes are at it, and in Sweden, there's a lot of people that are using this RFID technology. Right, a lot of Swedes are using this. Stockholm's first digital house of innovation, Epic Center implants microchips inside their workers and hub members' hands to simplify their daily routine and make life easier. See, so they're trying to they are deceiving people, telling you, oh, it's gonna be an easier way. It's a more quicker system. You no longer need to go into your wallet, grab your debit card, and tap uh, a scanner. You no longer need to be able to go into your purse and or grab coins and pay. The easy technology now is just put your hand on this red radar and everything will pay. It says, I've seen people with microchip implants before, but only in fictional TV series or movies. For example, Gabriel Black in The Hit. That says fictional TV series or movies. Now, in these movies, this devil Esau deals with MK Ultra, right? Predictive programming, because they had this technology long time ago. It's just that they're using predictive programming to deceive the people, to deceive the masses, to think that it's impossible for that actually to happen. You see? And you can see that right here. You can see a coin and a microchip right on top of that. And this is the mark of the beast. And if anyone takes this chip that you see right here on the screen, you will be destroyed. You will taste of the second death, the lake of fire. And you know what? Let me even get that as I'm speaking right now. Revelation chapter 14, reading at verse 9. And the third angel, and you got to keep in mind that the Bible deals with biblical numerology, and numbers are very, very important. Because when you look at numbers in the Bible, there's a lot of symbolism and a lot of seriousness in it. Like the number of the beast is 666. That's the number of the beast. And that's 3 digits. Now, when you read Revelation 14 and 9, it says, and the third angel, and we know we got first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Notice how it says, and the third angel, showing you the significance, because 3 in the Bible is a very, very, very serious number. The number 3. You have Yahushua that rose from the dead on the third day. You have the 3 patriarchal fathers of the nation of Israel, which Abraham, Isaac, then you have Jacob. Everybody comes from Shem, Japheth, Ham. Yeah, so 3 is a very, even the kingdom of heaven is going to have 3 gates on each side. 3, 6, 9, 12. But notice how in the kingdom of heaven, the gates is 3 on each side. So 3 is a very, 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 very serious number. It's not a number to play around with, that number 3. And even when you go to Genesis, the first chapter, yeah, after day 3, day 4 of creation, that's when the moon and the sun was created. But it was 3 days of darkness, no sun and no moon, you know. In that sense. So anyways, pay attention. Revelation chapter 14, reading at verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying, with a loud voice. Notice how this angel is speaking with a loud voice. If any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, which is poured out without mixture. It's not going to be diluted, into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So that is the penalty for taking the microchip. And you see, this is what is going to cause, you see this thing that you're seeing on the screen right here? If anyone takes that third angel is going to make that sound, you know. And anyone that takes this is going to taste of that cup without mixture. This thing that you see on the screen right now, this is very, the Bible is not a joke. You see the Holy Bible? This book is not a myth. Maybe, you know, you watch all these movies that are fantasy lands and all this stuff, but you see the Bible? This book is not a game. Right. The Swedes are at it. And by the way, the Swedes are Edomites. And Edomites are so-called white people today. Stockholm's first digital house of innovation, Epic Center, implants microchips inside their workers and hub members' hand to simplify their daily routine and make life easier. And they're saying make life easier. But when you go to the book of Revelation, chapter 13, reading at verse... No, I think it's Revelation 19. Yeah. Revelation chapter 19, verse 20. And the beast, which is NATO and the EU, was taken, and with him the false prophet, the Roman Catholic Church, that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast. That's the point. That's the whole reason why I went to Revelation 19. It says, deceive them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. But the whole reason why I brought out this Bible verse, it says, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast. And these Edomites are very, very conniving. They're very tricky. They're a very deceptive nation. And only they're so tricky that even the Bible says, for the if it were possible, they would trick and deceive the very elect. But guess what? It's impossible. Right. So I'm going to read to you the part of the trickery. I'm going to read to you the part of the trickery of, because I've already read this, yeah, but I'm going to read it again, and then I'm going to highlight the part of how these devils trick people. The Swedes are at it. Stockholm, first digital house of innovation, Epic Sentinel implant microchip inside their workers and hub members. Hands to simplify their daily routine and make life easier. Hands to simplify their daily routine and make life easier. That's a lie. It's not going to make life easier, you know. It's going to make your life harder, because when you read in Revelation chapter 14, verse 9, verse 10, it says tormented. So if you take this thing, the Lord said you're going to be tormented with fire and brimstone. So how the hell can they say that this thing makes life easier? It's going to make your life harder. But that's how these devils operate, man. And it's funny how they put a coin and then they put a chip on top. You know the reason why they put a coin and then a chip on top? Because a coin represents what? It represents currency. And the chip on top represents, because these devils, they like to use subliminal shots to the masses of people that are brain dead. So the reason why they got a chip on top of a coin is really they're telling you very soon this currency is going to turn into a chip. And really and truly, that gold, you see, you know what, let me go back again. You see this golden coin that you see right here, yeah? King Solomon, yeah? And I'm going to show you something interesting about King Solomon. Let me get this thing real quick. Let me get this thing real quick. Hold up. Bear with me. I'm not perfect to be writing things perfectly, but let's see. 600. Hold up. And I'm going to show you how these devils, yeah, are very, very manipulative, yeah? Now listen to this. Listen very careful. This is not no video, yeah? Because me personally, myself, how I perceive, I don't make videos every single day. I like to make quality videos. I don't just make videos every single time for making videos' sake. Me, whenever I'm making a video, it has to be quality. It has to be on point. You see what I'm saying? I don't just make videos just for the sake of making videos. Because I'm very serious when I bring forth information. And I'm going to show you how deceptive this devil Esau Edom is. I'm going to reveal to you right now how tricky this devil is right now. First Kings chapter 10, reading at verse 14. Now the weight of gold that came to Solomon in 1 year was 666 talents of gold. Now, you see where it says 666 talents of gold, yeah? In 1 Kings 10 and 14. Doesn't that remind you of Revelation 13 and 18? Here is wisdom, let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. See? 600 free score and six. 600 free score and six talents of gold. You see, that's in the book of First Kings 10, verse 14. And gold is what? And back in the days, our forefathers used golden coins and actual gold bars as well. And it's funny because when you go on this coin is what? The coin is gold. And gold is what? Is a currency. And it's funny how they put a chip on top of the currency. So you see? Now let me read this article again. It says, I've seen people with microchip implants before, but only in fiction TV series or movies. For example, Gabriel Black in the hit TV show Intelligence, where he was implanted a microchip in his brain so he could access the global information grids. But how about using microchips to monitor your every move? Sweden's technological hub Epicenter has implanted 150 of their workers with RFID technology. And you can basically see it says free chip implant. An increased number of people are choosing to have implanted under their skin. You see? And this is what's coming. And like I said before, we're not people think, oh, we're gonna be in this kingdom for a long period of time. We're not gonna be in this kingdom for long, you know. We're not going to be in this kingdom for a long period. You really think, yeah, the saints of the Most High are going to be enduring this bullshit that's been going on for a long period of time? Nah. Very soon, yeah, all this garbage is going to end, you know. People thinking, oh, we're going to be here next 20 years, 30 years. You're living in a dreamland. This place is going down very soon. And if you're not in the spirit of hoping that Babylon falls, yeah, you're not inside the ministry, man. You're not inside the gospel. These implantable keys have a multitude of uses. Information storages, replacing keys, building, all your, listen, and everything that you have is going to be inside this chip right here. And that's what they want to do. They want to destroy you. Chip implants contain a new interface in human-machine interaction. And it's funny how they say, you are the future. And I'm not going to read all this long stuff, man. I think you get the gist of the program. I think you get the gist of the program. I think you get the gist of it. How we're being able to pay for coffee at a cafe and doing other daily necessities in the invasive by Epic Selassie or Patrick Matherson through using the RFID implants. Other countries are trying to adopt this modern way of keeping staff records, but Sweden is the first to make this big move in implanting microchips into the hands of workers. And this is how they're telling you how it works. The microchip uses near field communication that is similarly used in contactless payment cards or mobile payments. A reader can access the chip information from a new inches away through the exchange of electromagnetic waves. These microchips work passively by being able to transmit information that other devices can read but cannot receive and read information in return. Microchips don't contain simple information like your staff ID. Anyways, I don't want to chat too much. The point is you get what's going on. Yeah? And ultimately, yeah, these devils, the reason why they're bringing this chip out is because they don't want the kingdom of the Most High to stand. And I think Esther spoke about that. think it's in Additions to Esther, yeah. Additions to Esther, chapter 13, reading at verse 5. Seeing then we understand that this people alone is continually in opposition unto all men, differing in the strange manner of their laws, and evil affected to our state, working all the mischief they can, that our kingdom may not be firmly established. Because what did Yahweh Shai say? Yahweh Shai said, it's not here, it's not there. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Yeah? So, brothers and sisters that are listening to this message, this video, you are the kingdom. And they don't want the kingdom to be established because if they can chip everyone, what does that mean? That means that the kingdom won't be firmly established. But guess what? The kingdom has to be established because when you read Romans chapter 8, I believe, is it Romans 8 or is it Romans 11, reading at verse 4, it says, But what saith the answer of the Yahweh unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. So, even so, then at this present time, also there is a remnant according to the election of grace. So, the Most High is reserving a remnant. Not every single black person, so-called black person and Hispanic person, is going to make it. Most so-called black people and Hispanic people are going to die. That is a fact. It's sad to hear because I know the prophet Esdras, he loved his people, but the fact of the matter is, yeah, is that most of our people are not going to make it because they don't know what's going on. They don't have a clue. They're not aware of themselves. They don't know that the UFOs, which are the chariots of the Most High, are the what? Are the vehicles of the angels, right? They don't know that Yahweh Shai is a so-called black man. They don't know that the Most High's name is Yahweh, and he's a so-called black man as well. So our people are in serious trouble. And that's why there's even an event in Jeremiah 30 verse 7 called Jacob's trouble. So they don't want the kingdom to be established. But the Lord has reserved a remnant that's going to be saved. And the word remnant, if you really go into that word remnant, it means a remainder. So there's a remainder, a small portion of Israelites that are actually going to make it in these latter days when Yahweh Shai returns in power and great glory with his mighty holy angels in an enormous fathership, a chariot. He's going to return and there's going to be a trumpet sound and the dead is going to rise first, and those Israelites which are alive, brothers and sisters that are alive, are going to get beamed up as well. And our enemies, you can read about our enemies in Psalm chapter 83 on down. They're going to see members of the elect getting beamed up, what the world ignorantly refers to as an abduction. And this is going to be the greatest salvation to ever take place in mankind, in human history. And we're invited by the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And Lord willing, Yahweh Shai, our Lord, has mercy on us. So anyways, stay vigilant, stay aware, because the enemy, see what happened, 150 Swedes in a company have just been chipped. And that's why it's good to measure the time diligently, because you don't want to be naked. Right? You don't want to be naked. Sorry, let me see if I can find that verse. Um, yeah. Second Ezra chapter 9, reading at verse 1. He answered me, this is the angel Uriel replying to Esdras, but obviously the Most High, he uses holy angels to communicate with his prophets. A lot of the time in the Bible, when you read the Bible, the Most High always sends holy angels to communicate with his servants, with his prophets. Like, I'll give you a couple examples. Like, when I was out there on the highways and byways, I've told you Zechariah encountered the archangel Gabriel that gave him a message. Mary also met Gabriel as well. Tobit and Tobias communicated with Raphael. Esdras communicated with what? With angel Uriel, right? The prophet Daniel communicated with an angel, and Michael, the archangel, was fighting the princes of Persia. So our forefathers have always interacted, spoken to holy angels. And that's a whole nother lesson that I can talk about, and in these latter days, in these last days, I believe through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Shai, brothers will encounter holy angels. We will encounter angels. We never know when it will happen, but I believe it will happen. Might be one day when you're in the highways and byways, you see a random person walk up to you, ask you a couple of questions, and if you're lucky, he might even tell you that he's a holy angel. Because most times the angels don't really like to reveal that they're holy angels. They like to just behave oblivious. And our forefathers have always communicated with holy angels. So in these last days, we will see holy angels. We won't speak to them, and communicate with them, because our forefathers have Abraham, Jacob as well. Who else? Manoah, even the Maccabees brothers, the Levites. A lot of our forefathers have communicated with angels. So it says, measured out the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, I saw part of the signs past. So what is part of the sign? Part of the sign, you see how the chip is being shown in Sweden, and they put a coin. Coin represents currency. And it's funny because in a relay, when you're running, you have to pass the baton to the next person that's going to run. And it's funny how the chip is on top of the coin. So after the currency, the coin, cash currency, has its turn, it's going to pass the baton to what? To the chip. Before thee, then thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So, brothers and sisters, prepare, man, because we're entering that time. But stay faithful, because you're going to have some brethren, the saints, that will be beheaded for the ministry, and they're not going to comply and take the mark of the beast. Revelation chapter 20 verse 4, and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai. So you had brothers that got decapitated, beheaded for the ministry and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, NATO and the EU, neither his image, the system, neither had received his mark, the RFID chip, upon their forehead or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. So you're going to have some brothers that are going to be beheaded, and they're not going to take the mark of the beast, the chip, right? And they reigned with Yahushai for a period of 1,000 years. Now, the 1,000 years is the millennial reign, but remember, the elect are going to reign even longer than the 1,000 years. Yeah, and then verse 5 says, but the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. And that's referring to the other nations. They're going to, after the hardcore slavery that they go through, the captivity that they go through, right? They're going to go back into their lands and everything, right? This is the first resurrection. So anyways, verse 6 says, blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. Right? Because the elect are going to take place in the first resurrection. And the word elect just goes back into the word selected. Everyone is an elect in the sense of being selected for something. Some people are elected to be part of the 2/3. Some people are elected for what? For the first resurrection. Esau was elected to be the vessel of dishonor. Right? Blessed and holy is he that hath part of in the first resurrection. On such the second death is the nuclear missiles, right? Also the chariots of the Most High, the angels are going to shoot laser beams, have no power, but they shall be priests of Yahweh and of Hamashiach, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. So anyways, with that, I'm going to close out. Most High willing, this video has edified you. I want to say Kohaloim La, Yahweh Hashem Mashak Yahushai. Hope to see you on the next lesson. Shalom.